Awesome admins, it's that time again. Let's skill up for the future. Awesome admin. Welcome to Skills for Success. I'm Jillian Bruce, Principal Admin Evangelist, and I am pumped to talk to you about 3 more awesome admin skills for success: security management, data analysis, and attention to detail. And once again, I've got 3 special guests to help share their skills for success tips with you. Let's get this show on the road. Security management. This is a very, very important skill because it is all about proactively setting up processes to protect your customer and business data. And this includes things like doing regular security reviews of profiles and permission sets to make sure they're all adhering to the principle of least privilege. And you should also use our security tools like Salesforce Health Check and Optimizer to make sure that you're staying ahead of any possible security risks as they arise. But that's enough from me. Let's hear from an awesome admin who is doing all the things when it comes to security management. All the way from down under, my friend Mia Pacey. Good day, Mia.
Thanks, Jillian. And here are my top 3 security management tips. Number 1, be proactive. As Jillian mentioned, Salesforce has a bunch of awesome tools to help with that. I can't stress enough how important the Health Checker and Optimizer tools are to your org. Number 2, communicate clearly and often with your IT team and users. Keep them informed about phishing attempts and cybersecurity trends in the technology industry. Number 3, keep learning, of course. As your org develops, there are always new things to learn and new improvements to make. There are new badges coming out on Trailhead all the time, so keep an eye out for those security badges.
Thank you, Mia. I love your first tip about being proactive and identifying issues before they arise. Well, if you want to be proactive and identify ways that you can skill up in security management, I got this great resource right here for you. Now it's time to talk about another key awesome admin skill, data analysis. Now, data analysis is all about taking data and turning it into insights so that your business users and stakeholders can make decisions based on the data that's in Salesforce. Now, for admins, this means we collaborate a lot with our stakeholders to build meaningful reports and dashboards that really tell a story about how the business is performing and helps drive transparency across the organization. For example, you could build a dashboard that shows which products are the top sellers, maybe which prospects are the highest value, and which marketing campaigns are the most successful. And this would allow the business to really make strategic decisions about where to invest more and how to plan for the future. Now, data analysis is a very sought after skill in the Salesforce admin job market. And so having an example like the one I just mentioned on your resume will really set you apart from the crowd. But you don't have to take it from me. In fact, I know somebody who knows a lot about data analysis and has some great tips on how you can represent this skill on your resume. David Carnes, take it away.
Thank you, Jillian, for inviting me to share some tips about what employers are looking for on resumes and in interviews when it comes to data analysis. My first suggestion is to understand the language of the company's industry. Every industry has its own jargon. The second is to learn all you can about the likely data sources and data structures that are in use within the organization. My third suggestion is to learn the common key performance indicators for that industry. Every industry has its own language, its own data structures, and its own metrics. And the more you can learn about them, the better chance you have of convincing that hiring manager that you are the admin for the job.
Yes, David, employers love to see candidates that are passionate about data analysis and someone who can really help the business understand the story that the data is telling. Now, to help you understand what data analysis looks like for you, check out this great resource. The last admin skill we're talking about today is attention to detail. Now, this is all about completing your work accurately and thoroughly. Trust me, when I say that this skill will have a direct impact on your success as an admin, your success as a team, and your success as a company. So ask yourself this question. Do I want my work to be good? Or do I want my work to be great? Well, awesome admins, the difference between good and great all comes down to attention to detail. So pay attention to developing this skill and also these words of wisdom from Rebecca Saar, Head of Admin Relations here at Salesforce.
Hi, awesome admins. Here are my 3 tips to developing your attention to detail skill. Number 1, review your work. Better yet, step away from your work and come back to it with fresh eyes. I promise you that extra time reviewing will ensure your work is accurate and error-free. Tip number 2, plan and manage your time. Paying attention to detail actually takes extra time. So you plan for it, you bake it into your process from the start. And this time boxing will actually also ensure that you don't go overboard with reviewing. Tip number 3, be an active listener. Perhaps you're in a meeting with your CEO or you're interviewing for your next big admin job. Either way, prove you're paying attention to the details by never being afraid to ask clarifying questions. All right, here's a bonus tip. Pay attention to the details that aren't there. Ask yourself what's missing. For example, when we're designing a process, we don't just look at the ideal process. We look at all the possible what-if scenarios to design for success. And with that, back to you, Jillian.
I love your last point there, Rebecca. We often think of attention to detail from the perspective of visual outputs like reports or presentations or emails, but attention to detail is so important when it comes to listening. And as an admin, you have to listen for the details to really understand what's being communicated. Now, if you would like to understand more about the importance of attention to detail and how it applies to your role as a Salesforce admin, check out this great resource here. And with that, it's time to wrap up this episode. We'll be back with one more episode next week. But for the time being, head on over to admin.salesforce.com/skillskit to get all the latest and greatest on admin skills for success. With that, I'm Jillian Bruce, and I'll catch you next time in the cloud.
Awesome admin.